Ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you another DIY designer bag tutorial. Shamelessly ripping off high-end fashion. Stay tuned. This bag is quite easy.
12 seconds later.
What am I doing? I think I'm listening wrong. So many flies. Oh my god. The trees are falling apart here. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel where we take old clothes and make it fashion. I'm gonna recreate yet another designer bag. I'm gonna make a dupe of a dupe of a dupe of a dupe of a dupe. And although I love the Bottega kind of quirky designs that they have for their bags and basically everything what they make, but there's something to say about some of their items being a little gimmicky. For example, take a look at their pouch bag that is cleverly called the pouch. You wanna walk around with that the whole day in your hand? Today's target is the twist bag. I think it's a very cute and more casual kind of relaxed variation of a designer bag. It's basically like a trash bag for rich people, you know, so they can experience how it feels. But you basically get a pouch with a zipper in the bottom. When you pay that much money for a bag, you have to basically turn around your bag every time you want to flash your credit card, which basically is a lot of times if you have that much money for a bag.
Here comes the money.
Anyway, this is where the Nanushka Jen Bag comes in, which is much more simple. Just opens in the top, so we're gonna more be inspired by the dupe in this case. We're gonna give it our own twist, no pun intended. Make it from this kind of puffer material that I still have left over from my weird kind of puffer scarf project that I did a couple of weeks ago. Okay, listen, I have the two sleeves. One side of the bag, other side of the bag.
Having some tricks up my sleeve.
So we just keep it as easy as possible, you know, French style. We just skip the pattern part and made something better instead. Look. No, seriously. So I made this technical drawing. I know. I just had to die 4 years in fashion school to get to this level. The main point of this is to get the general shape of the bag. I'm gonna take some artistic freedom with the measurements because my fabric is limited. First I get out the lining, and the white fluffy stuff, although a little deteriorating, I try to keep it on there as much as possible. So I'm gonna start with chopping off the sleeve cap. Thank you for your years of service, but we don't need you anymore. And this long side is gonna correspond to the bottom of the bag. I was having good intentions by giving it a quick press to flatten out all the seam allowances. However, kind of weird plastic inside. It's melting on my iron.
Ooh la 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 la. Watch out for the hot iron.
12 seconds later.
So I'm gonna draw the shape of the bag directly on my sleeve. Normally you would start with a square piece of fabric, but my sleeve's almost square, so I'm just gonna do it with that. Taking the wider side as the bottom of the bag. Straightening the edges a little bit. And what I realized just in time is that the whole sides of the bag are folded in. So you have to add the width of the handle completely on the side of the bag. I tried to more or less mimic the measurements that I could find on the website, except for that I made the handles a little bit longer because I reckon you can always cut them shorter if they're too long. The pattern, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, scissors. Hello? Oh, scissors. Don't put your ass to the camera, they don't like that, the people do you.
12 seconds later.
So I make sure that in the end I cut almost to exactly the same shapes. Game over. And then the inside. Just gonna take the lining of the sleeve and I just cut 2 squares, so the bag shape without the handle. So far so good. I mean, everything is going so smoothly. However, from here on, ladies and gentlemen, it does get a little messy. To be honest, I still don't know what would be the right order to go about things, but I think what I was doing was definitely wrong. I was attaching the ends of the handles from the 2 sides together and then closing them in the length. I've probably done this before, but I'm stitching the white fluff on the seam allowance. At least keeps it somewhat together. Makes it like really hard to see your pins because they're kind of disappearing in between all the layers. So you must really watch out as you... Yeah, that. The trick is now to turn it inside out again. Anticipating it's not gonna work. Okay. Am I doing something weird here? Let me know in the comments. Should I have done this differently? This is never gonna work, is it? Just when you think you have your whole life back on track. Copy a designer bag, they said. It will be fun, they said. Okay, I don't even dare to say it anymore because it gets really embarrassing at this point. Repeating myself on this channel. If you're a regular viewer, you might have a suspicion what happened there. However, it's gone, okay? It never happened. So pretty. Eat your heart out, Birkin bag. Okay, so I just chopped the handles open. They were too long anyway. Then I'm gonna open the handles in the line for a little bit. Stitch them together and then close the seam by hand. Don't know how else to do this, guys. Anyway, once the handle part is sewn together, more or less, I will admit it starts to look a little more rough than planned. However, I will continue bravely. Slightly confused again about the next step. So the lining turned out to be a little bit on the huge side. We're chopping it, cropping it. Now we're gonna be popping it on the upper seam of the bag where the opening will be. Doing that on both sides, making sure to understitch as well, which is as much as sewing the seam allowance on top of the lining so that the seams will be nice and flat and the lining will not pop out whilst wearing the bag. Yes, I know. Looks like I'm sewing a Cookie Monster. However, you know what they always say, don't judge a bag by its Cookie Monster level. Don't you have something better to do than make fun of my bag? Huh? Then I'm gonna close the rest of the lining, but keeping an opening in the bottom because we still have to turn it all inside out. I wanted to stitch this kind of fold in the sides, but I didn't manage. Just didn't work, okay? Tell me in the comments if I'm stupid. I ended up not doing it. It made the bag really small anyway. Next step, you can just turn it inside out, and then, ladies and gentlemen, the bird of the bag.
The bird of the bag.
Hello, hello, hello. So, that was fun. Subscribe to my channel. Is this gonna be my favorite bag ever? Probably not. Do I, if I get lost in the woods and carry this bag around, have a pillow to sleep on? Yes. Anyway, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed the video, if you want to see more rip-offs and more original content. Anyway, I hope to see you back and I'll see you next week.